So please let's welcome our brother Tiisetso to give us a spoken word.
So we met. Oh, let's have an intro for this. Has anybody watched Game of Thrones here? Okay. So in Game of Thrones, there's this wall they call the Wall, and I mean, what it does is that it protects the kingdom from marauders. And there are guys who work there, like it's their life. Like you can't take a wife, you can't. That's you, right? And they have to vow. And when they vow to work at the wall, some of the words are, "I will take no wife." Title of my poem. So my watch begins. So we met, and it was great. I loved you, top to bottom. I loved you. You made my heart skip a beat. You made my emotions move so fast I could feel the monsters, Red Bulls, and dragons running inside this little heart of mine. And they were all energized by the fact that you, my dear, are alive. You see, I was excited by the fact that your eyes cringe when you smile. And I mean, when I held you here, I could hear the dark and lovely voice of your sun-silky hair telling my nose that your ears can hear the soft and free heartbeat whenever the side of your face is pillowed against my chest. So I fell in love with you, and I fell so deep into your sea of love that I could see the bottom from underneath. I fell so deep it reminded all the baby ships in the sea that just like the Titanic, they're also capable of carrying love inside of them. And I held you, right? I held you close like gravesides held the dead and didn't let them go when they turned to bone, and continued to hold them until the bone turned to stone. I held you. And my heart still holds the memory of you now that you're gone, because I mean, you're funny. I mean, I used to write poems about the pattern that your skin made on your forehead. Your peace was my daily bread, my loving manna from heaven. And your joy was the wine, the sweet rosé, and your existence was my miracle, my 5,000 fed with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. You were everything good God had ever done in my life. But now you also fell in love. You fell in love with the punchlines, the pickup lines, the Miami Nights, the flashy lights. You formed a physical relationship with the butterflies in your stomach. You see, they are butterflies. They are meant to be in the sky, to doodle and to fly. They are not meant to be in the stomach, so they die. When they do, left is a woman that wants, what she bargained for, what she was promised, the life of hobbits and unicorns that are just happy and sweet and willing to listen. The truth is, that is not how life works. Definitely not how love works. Another thing that is left when the butterflies in your stomach die is a really frustrated guy who now has to play emotional whoopee cushion and joy bringer. As if there's a shop in the world where you can buy joy for girls and give it to them. But we stay. We stay because we love you. I mean, I stayed because I loved you. I mean, you are my sun, my shine, You were starting to be my God. I know that that's my fault, but you were starting to be my God because you are now competing with God the Father, the Holy Spirit, and the Son, the King of my life. I mean, I started calling you my moon and stars. But everybody knows that the moon and stars specialize in convincing people that there can be light without the sun. You, my moon and stars, were starting to convince me that there can be light without the sun. So it became a war over my heart. A clash of clans, a battle of the Titans, Hitler versus the Jews, Jesus versus you. A Game of Thrones over my heart, but you could never win. Because my main character, my honorable Ned Stark, laid his life down for me during the first season, the Old Testament, and you were a Targaryen, a girlfriend. So there's no way I could choose you over him. So now I'm on to the next one. But this time I'm not looking. I will spend my life like I'm not worried that I'm in my prime and I will eventually need to take a wife, because I know that the one who made me also hand wrote the user manual for time. So it's fine. Because I've tried it on my own. And all I ever got from it was a hopeless sequence of what if I didn't, and what if I haven't, and a hopeless sequence of I hate that I love you moments whenever I see my ex, and it stops here. No further. I will now be a sworn member of the Night's Watch. The Father will be my joy. The Son will be my friend. The word says, my comfort will come from the Holy Spirit, and I will wait for you to make me I will wait for you to create in me a clean heart and convert me from hooligan to whole again. But until then, I will be a sworn member of the Night's Watch, sworn to take no wife, father no children. The night gathers, and so my watch begins. Are we still friends? Yes. Oh. Okay. Okay. I think. All right. We are answering questions that people are asking, right?
That's right.
Are you sure? Oh. So in the township, a friend of mine, Jonathan, came to ask me, white guy, I have white friends. Right? A friend of mine, Jonathan, comes to me and he's like, what's it like to be a black person in South Africa? What's it like to look at me, a white man, in South Africa? Right? So I wrote him this poem. I didn't have an answer for him. So in the township, there is a class of house called the big house. Now the big house is big, and the people that live in the big house can afford it. I am the kid from the big house. Let me tell you what it was like for people like me growing up. Firstly, everybody wants to play at your house. Secondly, everybody wants to eat what you eat, go where you go, and have what you have. Thirdly, everybody feels like you have no right to complain about anything. Four, everybody feels like everybody who wants to take advantage of somebody wants to take advantage of you. 5, everybody who feels like life has dealt him a bad hand automatically wants to have it. Being a cheese boy in the township, like being a black person, like being a white person in South Africa. Exactly like it. Because one, everybody wants to play at your house. Because they need to unconvince themselves of the poverty that is their reality. Ignorance is you asking yourself why they're always trying to play at your house when you've never once sacrificed your privilege to go play at theirs. 2, everybody wants to go where you go, eat what you eat, and have what you have. You know why? Because yours is better, Jonathan. It's better. And they would rather put themselves through years of debt trying to at least taste what you and me call normal. 3, everybody feels like you have no right to complain about anything. And that is the price of privilege. Okay, you look ridiculous telling poor people that you have allergies. 4, everybody who wants to take advantage of somebody is going to take advantage of you. Because 1, you have it. 2, there's so much where it came from, you're not going to fight them to keep it. I mean, you have an iPhone and a backup Samsung at home. You're on First for Women. Even your manicure is insured. 5, everybody who feels like life has dealt them a bad hand wants to have issues with you. And that's the difference between me and you, Jonathan. Because you see, my privilege didn't come at the expense of someone else's well. Yours did. Apartheid really happened. I mean, the real thing, not the fake watered down one that was watered down in order to encourage reconciliation. Apartheid really happened. Problem is, you have never been close enough to it. Explosions always sound like gunshots when you're 25 miles away. Smaller from far. And since you so want to be in the know about what it's like to be a black man in South Africa, let me tell you, Jonathan. 1, stop telling grown-ups that South Africa will starve when land gets reappropriated. Don't do that with your mouth. Land is going to stop doing what land does just because now it's no longer owned by white people. All this is the infantization of black people, the very idea that black people can only exist, survive, and succeed under the tutelage of the capacity of white leadership. It's disgusting. Doing that. Secondly, stop calling everything reverse apartheid. Like, reverse apartheid is me dumping you in a set of slums with outside toilets and shacks as excuses for a house. Reverse apartheid is you being beat up and battered for refusing to call a 10-year-old white boy boss. Reverse apartheid is you being murdered for fighting to be looked at as a human being. Stop calling equity policies reverse apartheid just because they challenge your privilege. BE is here to stay, Manik. And I know what it's like to be you. I am you, just in a different context. I am you. I know that you feel that, I've heard you say that you feel that your identity celebrate your heritage because your heritage is seen as offense to other people. I know how you feel. If it ever gets too hard, John, if you ever feel like you can't take it anymore, come to me. Come take my light yoke and give me your heavy one. Assuming, of course, that mine is lighter and yours is heavier. But all I can tell you is when I complain about the problems that we have, the people I live with call them white people problems. I love you. Still my boy. Okay. Are we still friends? Are we still friends? No. That's the one patty. That's the one patty. We're going to have another one on top. Then we're going to seal it off nicely and then we're going to be happy. Right? Hi. You that is happy. You that is glad. What is it like to be the girl that he taps? Explain to me your happiness. See, you will never be complete. You will always feel out of place because you are bone of somebody's bone trying to fit in all the wrong rib cages. The shoe fits. You wear it. That's sweet, ain't it? But you see, each and every shoe that you fit walks away with a piece of your feet. So fit along. Every person that you literally and figuratively allow to come inside of you ends up living inside of you. So you shouldn't be surprised if all your relationships don't last. I mean, I would also leave if I had to be in a relationship with all your inner beings. Again, I ask, what's it like? What's it like to be on the other end of someone's brokenness? And what's it like to be proud of it? And what's it like to be on a bus ride to an early grave in the ruined future and you're yelling at the driver to move faster, like Tukutela driver Tukutela? Am I offending you? Ask, what's it like? What's it like waking up in the morning and hearing the words, wow, that was great. We should do this again. And hear him tell you that he loves you and you know he almost means it. Almost love you. I almost took you to my mother. And I almost took you to the altar. And I almost confessed my love for you in front of the church and the father. And it almost became a beautiful marriage. And it almost became a beautiful wedding. I'm almost done telling you what it almost could have been. Almost lived happily ever after, but almost. Here you are giving up your most for almost. What is it like? What is it like trying to convince yourself that you like it when he's giving it to you rough, when in essence you know for a fact that he has no respect for your body, so basically you will never be enough? By offending you. It's good. It's great. It means I came to the right place, but wait, I'm not the one who offended you. I just messed with the cherry on top to show you what you are going through. I'm not the one who offended you. It was him, them, they. I just fiddled with the cherry on top. They are the ones who cut the cake. Now that you are awake, now that you're awake, what's it like? What's it like being the South Africa that gets scorned, where people come from wherever they come from to harvest your gold, and they dig and they take and they dig and they take and they dig and they take and they dig so deep they take enough for a rainy day, and when they're done, you're the one who's saying thanks. Musadi. Am I offending you? It's good. I want you to listen to me. I just want you to hear what I have to say. And as soon as you give that to me, as soon as you give me what I want, I will leave. Does that ring a bell? Musadi. Musadi, Musadi. Musadi, Musadi, Musadi. See, the point of this poem is not to offend you. I would rather have you hate me and cause when breaking your chains than have you continue to like me and continue to night in the deadly poison referred to as a lie. Hate me after this poem, it's alright. As long as you also realize that you also have a right to a sense of self-respect and peace of mind, I'm fine. Musadi. And to the gents, you're cheering on. I can hear you. What is it like knowing that women just got battered and you celebrated it when you did it together? Integrity. I suppose the friendship's gone. Okay, let's seal this thing off and let's be nice. Let's be nice people. Okay. Yeah. I know my people. Okay, one last one. So, you know how the first poem was about me just letting it go? How we always do that. And then you meet somebody and right? We always do that, right? And this poem is about that. Yeah, Eve. And yeah, hope you like it. It's a nice poem. Relax. Don't worry. Okay, I'm done. Usa. Okay. Dear Eve, I have vowed to take the black and become a man of the night's watch. Sworn to take no wife, father no children, until God brings you to me. The real you, Eve. It's me. See, the most difficult choices in the world are those where we have to let go of what we think that we need and hope and pray that a provision happens before we starve to death. So here I am, Eve, starving, hoping you would come and complete me. That's what my problem is, future wife. I want to be completed by you instead of being completed by Christ. So although I'm happy, although it sucks that you're not here, I'm still happy you haven't arrived, because I was going to put you here. In my core, where Jesus needs to be, and you would have been fine in the beginning, like it always has been in my past relationships. And then you would start suffering from all the twisting and the bending and the turning you'd have to be doing in order to properly occupy and fit this void where Jesus is supposed to sit. I don't know you yet, but I can estimate that you're something fragile and really delicate, something precious and really cute, purposed to make the days of my life bold and beautiful. But even you would be ridiculed if you had to play God to me. Because you don't have the pierced feet and pierced hands. So you would die trying to be my El Shaddai. The Lord that saves, by his stripes, by his wounds we were healed, and you do have some scars, but that type of bruise doesn't make you almighty. You have to be my Rapha, the Lord that heals. You're a human being. So tell me, Eve, what of the days when I'm sick? What of the days when I'm sick spiritually? Will you be able to look at me praying in tongues and understand what I'm saying enough to give me a prescription? See, you are not Trinity enough to know me from that context, and I don't want you to die. I don't want you to get crushed under the weight of loving me from the wrong direction. It's hard for me too. I hate the fact that every beautiful woman I come across has the possibility of being you. Like, I saw this other girl once, right? Beautiful as no other. She was the combination of Buititulo, Gabriel Union, and my mother. Her eyes were not magical. They were a miracle. I could see the Milky Way trapped in her eyeballs. And when she blinked, it seemed like the sun was blowing kisses to the stars in order to make them shine, and all this was happening in one set of eyes. God said no. And I met another girl. There's no other. She had a lily-like lullaby nature. She had a heart the size of a church and a brain the nature of a Bible. You would get converted just speaking to her about random things. God said no. And I said yes, and he said no, and I said yes, and he said no, and I said yes, and he said no, and I said yes, and he said stop. One of us has to be man and one of us has to be Lord. Decisions. Why don't you just pursue me? Why don't you just learn how to pursue me even when I'm unseen? Why don't you learn to view me like oxygen? That like oxygen you do not see me. Like oxygen you do not feel me in your skin, but you continue to breathe in. You know that I'm there anyway. And you know that my presence is eternal. And you know that the fact that you can't see me with your naked eyes because you are not equipped to view me in my paradigm. And the fact that you cannot see, and you can continue looking, it's fine. I promise you will never find. You might find something that's great. The world is crawling with amazing people. But the fact that you found a good thing doesn't mean that that good thing is right. You, my children, like looking for people with good hearts instead of converting your hearts to be a heart like mine. I urge you to take off the scales so you can see. Open our eyes. I decided to take him up at his word. I'm not looking for you. Will find you, and you will be good to find, and we will make everything right, and together we will place a smile on the face of Jesus Christ, and together we will look at the gray sky, and instead of seeing dark clouds, we will see the part of the sky that learned how to fly, Eve. And we will love magically and uniquely, like a lion and a lioness that grew up in a lily garden. We will love like we have forgotten the monsters we are supposed to be. And when we are not next to each other, I will step into the shade where I am, and you will step into the shade where you are, so that even if we're not next to each other, we can trust that our shadows are somewhere together, holding hands, looking into each other's eyes, and just clutter. And they will continue like that until the end of the days, until the day that we die. And when we do die, there won't be funerals. There will be plantations of God's seeds, and it will rain a few times, and then Eden will grow, just so the world can know that God continues to make things sprout even when the blood no longer flows. But until then, Stay there.